Hello, and welcome to the Nutrition and Life podcast. This is where we look at various nutrition and fitness-related topics through the lens of application. We want to give you practical takeaways so that you can create your healthiest, best self backed by knowledge. Now, on to the episode with your host, Coach Lisa.
Hello, and welcome back to the Nutrition and Life podcast. My name is Lisa. I'm your host, and in today's podcast, I have the pleasure of speaking with Nate Sleger from Begin Within Fitness. He is a weight loss and health coach, and I'm super excited to be talking to you today, Nate. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Thanks.
Awesome. I'd love for you to just give us a bit of a brief introduction in the terms of how you got into coaching or into fitness in general, and what it is that you mostly do.
Yeah. How brief do you want it to be, Lisa?
5-10 minutes would be good, but as much as you think is valuable.
No, I had a corporate job in human resources for quite a while. In fact, that's what I thought I was going to be doing for my life. And then business got really tough. My job got a lot more difficult, and I found that I was delivering more bad news than good news to people every single day. And I just got to the point where I started to ask myself, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with the rest of your life? You're going to stay here for another 40 years or something else? And fitness was always a passion that I had. I loved working out. I, share little workout tips with friends and family, right? Like so many people do that are passionate about it. And I didn't really have, at that point, a very good handle on nutrition. But I thought working out was the answer to everything. So I left my corporate job and started, after I got certified as a trainer, I started doing personal training. And I found that it was a lot more difficult than I expected it to be. It was a lot harder to help people get results than I expected. And the things that were helping me to get results, I was honestly not using with my clients because I felt like they needed more of a framework, and that I was able to just kind of intuitively make decisions and try this and that. And I found that I got really good results, but I didn't really have a framework for how I was getting myself those results. So there was a point with my clients where I started to teach them how I was taking care of myself. Not using a diet, not using even like a special workout plan, but how I was just addressing the main sort of pillars of good health with myself and saying, oh, I haven't been getting great results. Well, what's my thing? Like what's holding me back? And personally, I would say, oh, I haven't been sleeping that well. I haven't been getting my 8 hours of sleep these last few weeks. So you know what, if there's one thing that I personally need to work on, that's probably the thing. And I would just put more intention and more effort behind getting to bed on time and getting good rest. And I found that I would get better results, but that didn't stay forever, right? So then I would find, my results aren't so great, but my sleep has been good. What else could it be? And you know what, I haven't been eating as many veggies as I know I should. So I would put attention into my nutrition for a little while, kind of clean it up, make some adjustments, and then the results were good again, right? And then and so again and again, I'd find these different areas of my life that required focus, but I was sort of just cycling between each of those areas and just kind of fine tuning them as I went. And one day I was like, why am I not teaching my clients this? Mm-hmm. These are the areas you need to focus on. And as long as we have an idea of what good health looks like in these areas, we can kind of slowly dial them in over time. And so anyway, long story short, I'm still using that framework. Now I'm with a different company, training and coaching online. And you mentioned the company is Begin Within Fitness, where we do online nutrition coaching, lots of education in the nutrition space, as well as personal training online.
Awesome. Super cool. Thank you for that introduction. And I'm curious, just briefly, do you guys use like an app for your online training, or is it more just like a PDF? How do you get your programs to your clients?
Yes, we use an app. Yeah. So we have we have an app that'll deliver workouts. We can message with our clients, like a lot of, training companies have. And then
Hmm.
one of the things that we do that is a little bit unique is we have little courses, basically nutrition, but it's using those pillars that I mentioned earlier, those um, more lifestyle areas of focus that help people to get really good results. And we deliver those little courses as well to our clients in our app. And so we have it's like a 12-month course that they get on top of their workouts and the coaching they get with their coach. And so they're actually working on the habits that will help them in each of those main areas that we have found influence health, wellness, nutrition, or not nutrition. Nutrition is one of those pillars, but weight loss, and just feeling the way that you want to feel, getting the results you want. So we focus on those pillars by means of those little habits, one at a time over 12 months.
Super cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more about the programs specifically a little bit later on. But yeah, why don't you tell us what exactly those six pillars are?
I can't tell you that. No, I'm just kidding. I can't. Um, so here's how we started it out. I was in the gym, like I said, I was a personal trainer. Working out was the thing. And people come to me thinking working out's the thing. That's the thing that's going to get me the results. It's based on the calories in, calories out, formula, right? If I'm burning these calories, then I'm gonna lose weight and I'm gonna be in the shape that I want to be. And so we kind of started with saying like, all right, working out that one, we know it. Our clients kind of are here for that reason. So like, let's set that one aside now. What are the other things other than that really influence somebody's wellness? And just very basic, right? We're not experts in psychology. We're not experts in hormone health and things like that. So those things definitely play a role. But we kind of said like, what are the really big chunks, the big pieces that we want to address in order to help people to maximize their wellness? And so there are five that we came up with. And the team that I worked with at the time, we kind of said like, what are the things that if somebody came in to work out, we would actually say, no, you can't work out today. You have to go take care of that other thing. It's more important to your health to go do that than it is to work out. And so using that kind of way of thinking, we came up with five. And the five others, in addition to movement, are nutrition. I mentioned that one. Rest and recovery, or sleep. We just call it sleep. So you have nutrition, you have sleep, we have hydration.
Hmm.
Then we have two that are a little bit more, um, uh, I don't know, I guess abstract for people to grasp, but your relationship with yourself. And for us, it's more about being aware of what's going on internally in your mind. So we lump the process of changing your habits, de-stressing, those kinds of things, and we just call it think. It's just intentional thought. So and then the final one is connect, which has to do with your relationships with other people and with nature primarily. So
Oh, I like that.
we recognize that each of those plays such a major role in people's health and well-being that they are essential to having a healthy life. If you just totally ignored one of those areas, but you did all the other ones, you're going to still be suffering. So we wanted to make sure that we're addressing each of them. And so then we just kind of said, like, what's healthy really look like based on current research? What do the experts say healthy is in this area? And then we help our clients to focus on some of I guess the habits in those areas that have the biggest return on investment, right? What are the ones that lots of people overlook? What's something in this area that if you do it, you're gonna feel better as quickly as possible. You're gonna know that there's a major shift in your health and well-being once you've taken this step. So those are the habits that we help people to focus on.
I love it. I have to admit, I did not expect nature to be in there. I was kind of expecting connection, social connection to come, just because it's also becoming a bit more of a, not necessarily buzz, but people become more aware of, hey, it's probably important that you're not a total hermit. Or maybe during COVID, we all noticed how much more challenging things were and how much we actually
Yeah.
really benefited from that interpersonal connection or physical touch, those sort of things. But I absolutely love the nature aspect, and I think it's totally underrated. I do think people are often here, get your 8 to 10,000 steps, but many get it while they're on their phone, walking around in the house or on the treadmill. And of course, throughout winter, it's a different ball game, and not everybody feels like bundling up in 30 degrees Fahrenheit and walking around for an hour. I totally get that, but I think we can probably add to that, or what for me is entailed with that is simply daylight viewing as well. That's probably
Right.
becoming a bit more popular through Andrew Huberman or people of the like, in the sense of it's going to help set your circadian rhythm. It's going to help you with more better hunger cues, satiety, but also just nature sounds and that stillness sometimes that nature can give us. I'm definitely someone, I benefit a lot from that. And I know it's very much varying from person to person how much of a thrill they get out of being surrounded in nature. But nonetheless, I think there's a term which has stuck with me that I read a little while ago, and that was actually called Paleolithic deficit, and that so many of us are in a Paleolithic deficit, meaning being so far removed from how we originally were maybe meant to live or used to live, or whatever you want to call that, when we're just like in these boxes 24/7 with artificial light and not even knowing what it feels like to touch real wood or those sort of things, and even just this kind of deficit. And then of course, more artificial food and all the rest of it, and that in and of itself can definitely be a bit of a detriment to mental health as well. I don't know how you guys bring that aspect across to your clients in the sense of nature. But yeah, I love that you threw that in there.
Yeah, and like I said, the whole concept for me started in my personal, self-care process. And I'm the type of person, like, if I have I have a stressful day, I get some bad news at work or whatever, I'm like, I gotta get outside. I gotta get out there. I gotta be around trees. I've gotta go by the water. And so what I came to appreciate in my own life is that the more I was doing that as part of my routine, the less I had those times where I'm like, I gotta go to the trees, I gotta get outside, I gotta do this, because I was experiencing those opportunities to de-stress. Yeah, there's so much to it, So we recommend, like I said, very basic for our clients is just explaining to them the benefit, and then encouraging them to, for example, get outside, just very simple. Just get outside intentionally, not like you're walking your car into work, but get outside to be outside, right? Take some really deep breaths of that outside air. And or sit and look out the window. Actually just look out there at the tree. Just spend some time interacting with nature, even if it's just looking, and notice how it helps with stress. So just very, very basic, but I'm so over that top. Like we live in the woods now. We're out there every day. We have a dog, and a big part of what we love about him is he makes us get out there every day, even in the cold. We live in Wisconsin. I think I told you that last time. So it gets very cold. We're out every single day. It could be 20 to below. We're still out there. We bundle up, but it's a part of our routine, and it makes such a difference in how we're feeling. But yeah, I love it personally. And like I said, once I started to realize the difference, when I really be honest about the difference it was making for me, I started to share that with my clients. Like, hey, it's not just about keto. Like, that's not what's going to get you what you want. You want to feel healthy. You want to, really de-stress and feel connected, feel grounded. You have to be outside. You have to get out there. You have to interact with nature. But yeah, I mean, studies show even watching a YouTube video of a waterfall, right, or something can help us. So even if someone's stuck inside, they don't even have windows. If they have an internet connection, they can still get, connect
A little bit.
connect in that way.
I dare to say it's probably not quite the same result, but I definitely like that you keep it to the basics, because I mean the basics are what the biggest movers. And the beautiful thing is actually that so many of these habits can be quote unquote stacked. You can go outside for 5 minutes, get your steps in, so you get a little bit of movement. You can take some deep breaths, get a little bit of recovery. You work on your internal language, maybe just considering, hey, was that thing at work really so bad? Maybe how can I reframe that? How can I reframe that was actually something positive that happened to me today, or for me today, as opposed to me, perhaps. So you get the thinking bucket, and then at the same time you get some fresh air. You get to connect with your dog or maybe your children that run around. So it's technically simple. It's just a matter of making that a habit, I guess. So aside from perhaps putting it on your schedule, what would be some methods you might advise your clients to, hey, this is how you can become a bit more consistent with it, so that every day after breakfast you spend 5 minutes outside?
Yeah. Well, we teach people how habits work. I think that's a big part of it. And that kind of fits into the thinking bucket too for us, is learning about a little bit about how our brain works. Again, I'm not a, psychology expert by any means. I'm just sharing what I've learned from other people, books I've read, and I love to geek out on that stuff. So I've read a lot of books on how habits work. And so we've tried to condense those down, and explain to our clients real early on in the process of working with us, this is how you learn new habits. This is how your brain works. And it all starts with making sure that's a very small, right? A lot of times, especially in fitness, we try too much. I'm going to get rid of all the bad food. I'm going to go grocery shopping, get all the good food, and I'm going to start my new life. And it doesn't work that way. We go too big, or I haven't been working out at all, but I'm going to try this crazy workout plan starting on Monday. Here I go. And it doesn't work for very long. So we teach, that's great. As much as you want to try to take on, okay, but understand that the smaller it is, the more likely it is to stay a part of your life. And then you can build from there. So we teach making it very tiny. So to get a walk outside every day, for example, we help our clients think about what's the step in that process that's the most important one to take in order for me to follow through and actually take the walk outside. I got to be careful. My dog is in the room sleeping. I know I'm gonna say outside so many times. So
They are too smart.
I keep looking over there. If you see me looking over there, that's what's happening. So we try to find the big, the most important, I shouldn't say the most important step in that chain of events that has to happen. Once I do this thing, I'm more likely to actually follow through. So with like walking outside, it might be putting on my shoes. Like once I have my shoes on, I'm going to do it. All right. I'm not going to just take them off and then go back and sit in front of the TV or go to work or whatever. I'm going to actually get out there and do it. So then we just focus on putting on your shoes. Like forget about the walk out there. It's just about putting on your shoes if you can get those on. And we did this in the gym when I was a trainer. I was like, I want to come for my workout, but it's so much. Or just get in the car. That's all you have to do. That's all I want you to focus on is get in the car. Once you're there, you're going to drive and come and see me at the gym, right? So just find that one little piece of the process and focus on getting that done. That's a huge part, and it's tiny, but it's a huge part in actually following through and taking the bigger action that you want to carry out.
I like that. Yeah, I often, when it comes to habit change, often refer people to the quote unquote Bible Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's like one of my almost go-to presents when people start off. It's like, okay, you want to change something? Here you go. Read this and implement even just 1% of it. You'll be sweet.
You got it.
Such a
Yeah,
good.
that's one of them for us too. Also, there's a book called Tiny Habits by BJ
Oh,
Fogg. That's
yes.
another big
Yes.
one. And then it's a little less prescriptive, but I think taught me a lot too. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg.
Yes, I've
Um,
read that one too. Yes.
yeah, so those three we recommend, and I teach a course from time to time all about how to stay motivated, how to create new habits, and right at the outset I'm like, hey, this is not mine. This is from these three guys that are way smarter than me that put this information together. I'm just going to try to condense it down for you and teach you what I learned from them.
I love it. Now, pivoting a little bit or digging into maybe either your time as a trainer or now with regards to fitness and training programming. And again, you say you like sticking with the basics, or maybe assuming also that a lot of the people that come to you are reasonably new to working out. Do you have certain principles in the sense of everybody should be strength training twice a week? I mean, you mentioned steps. Okay, so anything, okay, let's assume any sort of movement is better than no movement. But aside from that, when
Yeah.
someone says, hey, I want to see a little bit of muscle definition, I do want to feel better, I want to lose some body fat, I, yeah, what do you advise
Yeah.
in the sense of maybe
Um,
frequency, duration, what kind of
yeah.
training?
Yep. And I think that needs to be said. What you just mentioned, Lisa, I'll say that before I start any conversation about this with anybody. People ask me all the time, "What's the best? Can you give me a workout program?" I just, hey, as long as you're moving your body consistently, that's the big thing. I feel like um, the other stuff that we talk about is going to make such it could make a difference, but it's such a little difference. Once you're actually moving and you're doing it consistently, we can always build from there, right? We can dial it in, we can make it more effective, but that's the big thing. So I feel like over the years, and I did this myself, we kind of like mystify the process a little bit. We make it sound complicated because it makes us look important. Like, I'm so smart. I do this and I do that. At least that was what I was doing, right? To try to, like, oh, Nate, I need you to make it for me because you know all the science behind this stuff. And when I finally was like, hey, if you're just moving, that's the big thing. But that being said, right, I've done this for nearly 15 years. I've trained trainers, and those trainers have trained so many more sessions than I've personally trained myself. And so we've learned along the way as well about what are the big pieces as far as a workout that we want to have in place without making it super complicated. So the big pieces for me are strength training, at least 2 days a week, but you should be moving your body more days than you're not. So for myself personally, that means I'm strength training at least 4 days a week, right? More days that I'm not. If I'm going to work out, I'm going to lift. I love kettlebells. I love dumbbells. I love the versatility. I do a lot of body weight exercises, use TRX a lot, those kinds of things. And recommend the same for our clients, because a lot of our clients are working out at home as well. We use a lot of resistance bands, those kinds of things. So resistance training, or people call it weightlifting, but body weight as well is fine, right? We can do a lot with that these days. And then full body workouts. I'm not a big, upper lower split, chest day. If I'm going to work out, I'm going to work out everything. And I recommend clients do the same. I think that our body tends to work the best that way. I think about, a farmer or, someone who doesn't need to work out because they're working out all the time. Go back to the days before anyone ever needed to go to a gym. They were just moving their body. They're using their whole body in activities that required effort. And so we're doing full body workouts, and clients will ask me, how much should I do? And I would say, do as much as you need to in order to feel like you're trying. If
Well,
you're
that's
not,
a good recommendation, though. Yes, because
yeah,
for any level, I find that a very difficult question, and sometimes I'll get also like even how much weight should I use for that? I'm like, I have literally no possibility of telling you you should be using 25 pounds for this or not, because I don't know how strong you are. I don't know how challenging this feels to you. And especially virtually, it makes it even harder. But even if I saw you, you can put on a little bit of a red face or so. You need to learn to feel the muscle as well and feel like, okay, I'm getting close to failure or to what is, as you say, challenging. That's a really good recommendation there.
Yeah. And there's so much that we can do again, because we're working out with people who are at home, more limited with equipment. In the gym, I had all these different dumbbells. We can do different things with tempo, and different things like that, or limiting our rests, pairing different exercises together to make it challenging. And so our goal is our clients are doing a full body workout. They're doing sets and reps to the point where they feel like they're trying, and that can change from day to day as well, right? For an adult, especially, our clients are mostly 40s, 50s, some 60s, and even older. So, we're one day to the next might feel different, and that's okay. Just do your best today. And then our workouts are generally about 45 minutes. We're programming 6 to 8 different exercises into a workout, and we're doing anywhere from 3 to 5 sets of those. So it lasts about 45 minutes, but if a client is feeling good and they get through it in less time, we say, have a great day. We're not going to keep you here just to fill time and beat you up some more. And if someone at the same time is struggling, they need a little bit more rest. They need to move a little slower one day, and they go beyond 45 minutes. That's okay too. Usually we just say, plan about an hour, and we're, start to finish, warm up, workout, cool down, 1 hour max. That's all I need from you. And we're going to take really good care of you during that time.
Love it. Awesome. And continuing on the note of basics and keeping things super simple, if you had to condense basic nutritional advice to maybe 2 or maximum 3 things of do more of this, and this, what would that be?
I like that question. Eat whole foods. That would be a big one. Eat slowly and stop before you're full. Those would be my 3.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah, because they will take care of a lot already. If you focus on whole foods, you got your satiation, you got your veggies, your large base of micronutrients, likely some protein in there as well, good quality protein. And with the stopping before you're full, I think that's such a nice link to the mindset or thought piece as well when you're stressed or whatever, like just a reminder to perhaps slow down and, as you say, stop before you're full. Love it.
Yeah.
Super cool. I want to honor your time, but I have one last question just because you touched on it earlier, and that was the motivation piece. You said you from time to time run some workshops on, how to keep the motivation going, or perhaps if we want to rephrase that to how to keep going even if there is no motivation. So maybe you have like one last piece of wisdom for the listeners to take away when it comes to that, like, oh, I don't feel motivated or lost motivation.
Sure. I would say forget about it. Forget about motivation and think about making it easy. Just make it as easy as you can, whatever step you need to take next. Then motivation doesn't become as much of a factor. But when we take that small step, then we feel motivated. When I take the action, I feel like doing more. So just focus on making it easy, and whatever step you need to take right now, just focus on taking that next step, and you'll get the motivation later that you need. So just kind of forget about it and just focus on easy.
Amazing. Super helpful, practical takeaway. I absolutely love it. And I recommend everybody go and follow Nate on Instagram, Nate Sleger, or heading over to beginwithin.fit, I believe. But I'll put all that in the show notes as well. So thank you so much for your time, Nate. And it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share the episode on social. Very much appreciated. You can also follow us on Instagram at Nutrition Coaching and Life, or head to our website, www.nutritioncoachingandlife.com, where we provide more valuable content. Have a wonderful day. Now go out and work on your best self.